So I just want to thank everybody for coming in. This is the Modern Executive podcast. I'm your host, Lorinda Buckingham, and I'm so glad that you tuned in. Today we have a special treat. We have the top-selling Femcee Artist, best-selling artist that is here with us. One of my favorite artists. When it comes to music, it comes to producing, songwriting, it comes to modeling, she does it all. And I wanted her to come on to the podcast because we talk about leadership empowerment and how leadership is relevant to every aspect of our life. We talk about business, we talk about leadership, we talk about how those things apply to our life. And I wanted her to come on, and I'm so glad that she was able to come on so that people like you and I can learn from her and learn from our other principals to see that this is something that's very relevant to our lives today. So if you're tuned in right now, what I'd like for you to do is do me a favor right now. If you are looking, go ahead and do a watch party. Use hashtag replay if you see this on the replay, but also connect with me on social media, on Instagram and on Facebook at Lorinda Buckingham. And you will also see this on a replay on our YouTube channel, on the Lorinda Buckingham YouTube channel. So make sure you get connected so that you can be the first to know when things are happening and we have interviews like this is going on. So I'm not going to hold up a lot of people right now. I'm going to just take a look and see what's going on here on Facebook. Oh, we got people that are here. Yay. Okay. This is awesome. So first, before we get started, I'm going to just, Pam, if you could just give us a little bit about who you are and just share with us about you. Tell us about you. I'm not going to try to keep everything here. I'm going to let you introduce yourself so that way everyone knows who you are. Okay. If they don't already know.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Dad.
I'm not going to try to
I am a female rap artist out of Detroit, Michigan. Mostly hip hop. I do a little bit of R&B. I'm also a radio personality on 7 Mile Radio, a brand ambassador of Creole by Keka, Luxury Wines. I'm an actress. And you see, I'm an entrepreneur. I do a lot, but this is basically it. I just do what I love, and I'm thankful to be able to have the talents and the support that I have to be able to push through,
Also, I mean, and then the thing is, she's being humble, guys. So when she talks about being a model, first of all, I want to be very clear about this. She's not just a model, she's a fierce model, okay? She comes through, her personality comes through, the brand comes through, and it's very difficult to really establish a brand. Like, when people talk about a brand has to come from within you. It's not something you can just pick off someone else. And I tell people this all the time because we have different products and services that help people with their branding, but understanding who they are before they start getting into the branding part. Because if you don't know who you are, it's difficult to represent. So I'm gonna just give you a couple minutes to share with people, just share with them a little bit about your brand. Like, what is PDOT? Like, where did that come from? How did you get into the music industry? And then what does that brand represent to people that's out there? If they were to come in and see, like, who is PDOT? Who are you? And what does your brand represent to the music industry or just to people in general?
Well, PDOT is actually a name that I actually was given that name. My music name wasn't really PDOT. It was my name, but it was an acronym. And I got a battle background, so it's kind of aggressive name, let me keep it clean. So was something that it's a name that was given to me by one of my friends. He's from New York. His name is, we call him Inf. His name is Keith. And one day he just was like, I'm just about to start calling you PDOT. And I was like, what? And he really started doing that. And then it's like everybody else started doing it and started doing. So I just, it's basically something that I adopted, honestly. And it was, because like I said, I come from a battle background and I wanted to go more so underground, mainstream direction, commercial direction. So the name that I was going by initially was a little bit too grimy or a little bit too street.
Right.
Industry, so a PDOT is more something that it's basically my alter ego. PDOT is the person that I can be without people judging me. PDOT is the person, she's the free spirit. Everybody has an alter ego within themselves. Whether they admit it or not, they do. You know, it's that person when you get mad. It's that person when you be like, you know, kind of, you know, she, you know, Peter just don't care. You know, so it's like she don't care what people think.
She don't care. She's like, get it.
No, she go get it. She get out the mud. No handouts. You know, not afraid to work for what she has. And P Dot is just. I try and keep my brand very clean. I don't stand behind certain things. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, Lorinda, you know, you and I, we both went to Cody High School, and you know, at the time, it was real challenging for us when we was growing up. And you know, it was a lot of gang activity. It was a lot of shooting, a lot of fighting, a lot of, you know, it was easy to be steered in the wrong direction back in those days. And for a while, you know, I had dove into that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, you know, I'm gonna say this. I'm glad that I went through the things that I went through because I'm more relatable and I can relate to people a lot more. I don't judge anybody, you know, and P-Dot, she doesn't judge. She's very understanding. She's an empathist. She fundraise, philanthropist, all for the community. And just in woman power, you know, as a whole, you know, especially Black queens, you know, try to put out there that, you know, you don't have to show your body to make it to a certain point. You don't have to, you know, it's already hard enough as it is for queens and women, you know what I'm saying, as a whole. I am not even just speaking on Black women, I'm speaking on women, period. It's already hard for us to make our mark out here because a lot of people look down on us and think that we can't do something, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? We always get shot down or put down before we even get a chance out here. You know, it's like, oh yeah, whatever, you know. Right. So you have to, so you have to we always had to fight, you know, for the things that we wanted out of life. Definitely for fighting for respect out here, you know. So P-Dot is just you know, basically showing people that listen, you can come from this, but you can change yourself around and become that. You know what I'm saying? Just be you and be free, and that's just basically it.
Man, I mean, that in itself is powerful because I mean, you said a lot in there, and just kind of like to recap a little bit for people who are just now tuning in. She says one thing that we went to school together, so we did go to school. That's how we first met. And one thing about Pamela is she's always been consistent. Like she's always been consistent, and it was, you know, I was friends with her, and I was friends with her cousin Chrissy, and we were all in class together. And even at that time, there was so many different things going on. There were so many different ways that we could have gotten into a lot of different trouble and going into a lot of different directions. And we all tried to find things that were positive to kind of stay in a lane that was still contemporary, but also stay in a lane that was still positive. So even though, P-Dot, she went into the lane of music. So she keeps it, you know, real with what she does, still contemporary. I went into a lane of corporate, then I started my own business. But if you notice, that same message is still the same. It's like staying in that same lane of keeping a brand that is contemporary, that is relevant, but then staying true to yourself. And I believe that comes a lot from where we came from when we were in Detroit on Joe Road, just seeing the things that we saw coming up and then trying to navigate through all of those different things. So just to kind of bring some people up to speed who may not know a little bit about that background, and we kind of separated and then we kind of came back just seeing what was going on in each other's life and just celebrating what was good in each other's life, just off the fact of just seeing someone doing well. So one thing that I like about your brand too is that you said something that was so good, is that you said that, you know, women have to fight for that respect. And also you said you didn't want to have it where you just had to show your body in a certain way or do things in a certain way. So basically you define what that brand was going to be. And so, you know, like if I define it the way it's going to be, it may not be as easy as it may be for the next person who's being told what their brand is going to be. You know, so the next person might say, yeah, okay, I'll just show everything. And they can go straight to the top real quick. You know, you're like, but the thing is, and I want to say that to some of the people who are listening, is because a lot of times when you have a woman like P-Dot that's doing that, you know, you might look on the outside and think, okay, well, it's just music. It's not just music, it's art, because she's putting her soul into it, and she's thought about what does she want that to look like? What does she want to leave someone else? And then she's saying, okay, I'm not afraid of the hard work that may come with saying this is what I want my music and my brand to look like. So that's a really good example for a lot of you out there that are listening, that are watching. You're thinking about whether you want to go into the music industry, you want to start your own business, no matter what you want to do. That example is a good example. There's a lot of people who will not define who they are. They won't figure out who they are. They'll just do something. And not really following it into what they need to do. So what do you think about what I just said? Is that something in line with what you were thinking about?
Yes. You know, people do what's trending nowadays. They you know, especially in the music, you know, it's real easy to be somebody else. It's hard to be yourself. I'm gonna be real. Like, it's hard to just be like, okay, well, you know, but I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't hard for me because I always went with somebody else. Everybody was going left, I always went right. I always went in my own lane. I always have my own lane, and it's not, you know, something. It just, that's naturally who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. Like, I don't want to do that. I never followed anybody. I always did what made me happy. You know what I'm saying? I never been the type to try and always to live up to anybody else's expectations in life. You know what I'm saying? You can't be happy in your life and try and live up to somebody else's expectations. That's not possible at all. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just, it's a gift and a curse, you know, growing up and being independent and being like, oh, I'm not going to do what they're doing. I'm not going to be them. I'm going to be me, you know, especially, like I said, nowadays, where it's so easy to just go with everybody else and do your own thing, like make your own sound, say your own words, dress your own way, you know. You got to do something, you know, in a world where everybody is doing the same thing. You got to do something to stand out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is that what I like about your stuff is that you stand down not only in your music but also in your fashion. So for some of you out there right now, maybe if you just now tuning in and this is maybe the first time you're hearing about P. Dot, you can find her on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find her music on Spotify and most major outlets, and you can download her music, get a copy of her music for yourself, and you can see the photos, the pictures, the images that she used, the detail that is put into the styling and into what she does to make sure that she's not only saying the words, but she's conveying a message, an emotion that comes from her music. And so every time she gets up there, it's like fire. So tell us a little bit about that. I don't know. Like right now, interviewing, and she's like calm, and she's like, hey, how you doing? But when she gets up there, you talk about alter ego, it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like complete fire. She turning up the whole entire stage. The whole crowd is jumping up and down. So I'm telling you, she's like a humble beast for real. She's like, she comes in and it's like she takes the stage and commands the stage. And she commands the respect. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, you know, do you practice? Do you, have you done this for a while? What goes into your preparation before you take the stage? What you feel comfortable with sharing with us on as far as what it is that goes?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I've been honestly performing and stuff like that since my teenage years.
Okay.
But because I was like 15, 16. I've been a part of a label since I was like 18 years old, 17 years old. And honestly, I was around a lot of artists. You know, I was around Rock Bottom and the East Side Cheddar Boys and the Street Lords and stuff like that. Slum Village. A lot of my confidence with performing come from, you know, our marching band days and stuff like that, where, you know, I was never scared to perform in front of a crowd. And I think I owe a lot of that to that. And then we used to do our thing in the lunchrooms. You know what I'm saying? We used to, you know, and, you know, the teachers, they used to be like, they're not bothering nobody, like, leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think they like to hear it too, low key, but
Like what y'all gonna say now, right?
Like every fourth hour, it's like everybody used to just crowd into the lunchroom. Like, what they gonna do today? You know, it was always eating on the table, and the rest of us just going. I used to be the only girl in the circle. That used to be the funny part. But in preparation for my stage performances, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that clicks. Like, you know, like I said, when you do something you love, it's not forced. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't know who I can't even really describe.
Just natural talent, natural gift.
I just love to do it, and you know, if you ever did something that you love, it'll move you a certain way. Like, you know, you'll feel it, like from your feet all the way up. Like, yes, you know, the music and the culture as a whole, you know, kind of turns you into something. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's who it is when I go on stage. I guess that's what happens. You know, I don't know. I have fun at the same time. It's fun, like, you know.
But I you know, so some people, they're listening, and some people are going to watch this. So, you know, if you're listening, I encourage you to go and go look up some of the videos, go and look up some of the music, download some of the music and things, because again, once she hits the stage, it's like it's just complete fire, you know, and people talk about it like she fires the, you know, music and things of that nature, and she does not hold anything back from her style to the music and everything. But no matter what that may be, even if you're in the music industry, or let's just say you're listening right now, you do event planning, you do photography, let's say you do insurance, you do funding, whatever that may be, you still have to think about who you are. Because think about it, if you got 100,000 insurance agents, how are you going to stand out? If you have a whole bunch of real estate agents, how are you going to stand out? If you have a bunch of coaches, how are you going to stand out? If you have a bunch of anything, how are you going to stand out? And what I find, even when you have any industry that's saturated with different people, it's always a challenge to stand out, but also to stay true to yourself, because a lot of times when you start doing things on your own, you do get challenges. And we could probably speak on that, because I mean, sometimes, you know, you do get challenges because people might get jealous of what you do. You get people that may hate on you because of what you do. You think, okay, maybe you think maybe, okay, I got this dream. I'm gonna have all these people to support me. I'm gonna have all these people to be there for me. But what you start to realize and discover that sometimes that doesn't necessarily happen.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen that or experienced that in the music industry, where you're doing something and then all of a sudden you start seeing backlash and maybe jealousy or negativity that may come in to not support your brand or music?
I'm gonna say honestly, it's not like smack dab in my face or nothing. Like, it's not obvious, but you could tell like the difference in like certain people, certain people's attitude, or, you know, you could just tell. No backlash. I never had backlashing or nothing like that. I never had nobody openly admit, you know, that they have any type of animosity or jealousy or anything like that, but it's there. Because, you know, you hear from other people, like you won't hear from that person, but you hear from other people. And I'm honestly, like, it's not that many, you know what I'm saying? But the people that it comes from, usually it comes from people that you consider family or friends, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And I'm gonna be honest when I say that a lot of the times your support comes from people that's people that don't know you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get support from your family, but I'm gonna be honest, like majority of the time, it's gonna be a lot of more support, and people that really rock with your movement is gonna come from people who never met you, don't know you, don't know your name, don't know your background. You know what I'm saying? But you have a lot of support. Just pay attention to that. Like, don't worry about the people that got a problem or got an issue with what you're doing. You know, as long as you happy and confident in what you're doing, don't worry about the hate. Just pay attention to the love. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that.
I like that part. Don't worry about the hate. Pay attention to the love.
Yeah, when you get so much love, when you get so much love out here, how can you pay attention to the hate?
I can pay attention to the hate, and that's the thing. Like, I one time I posted something I said one time. I said, any negativity is laughable.
Yeah,
because it's not even worth the energy of getting upset, because there's when you have more people who support you and care about you, to be focused on something that's negative is like, it's laughable. It isn't even worth the energy or the time. And then at the same time, you start taking away from your gift and what you're doing, instead of focusing on building your brand and building what's necessary to grow your business and grow your brand.
True. And you got to be careful about you know, a lot of the times, like when you reach a certain level, you know, as a public figure, you can't respond to everything, you know, and then, you know, you can't respond. Even if you want to, you got to be like, oh, I'm not even going to say nothing. Like, you know, it's I just be like, oh my God, I want to say something. Or I might be in the middle of typing and somebody be like, don't even put that up.
Don't even do that. Don't even do that.
Just check myself and be like, I'm just about to act like I don't even see it, you know. Especially when people throw the subs out there, the subliminals and stuff like that on, you know, especially through social media. It's like, you just got to worry about growing and worry about, you know, your destination. You just got to stay focused. There's going to be a lot of distractions that get thrown in your way and stuff. And people, you know, the jealousy, the hate, the envy and stuff, that's a distraction. That's something that's trying to just keep you off your square and keep you from focusing on the main thing. You just can't pay attention to that. You know, once you reach a certain age, you be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If it's not directed, it's not respected. If it's not directed, it's not respected. So if you're not adding me or tagging me or saying P dot this, it ain't about you. It's only one time that somebody ever tagged me and said some wild stuff, and I didn't even have to do nothing because my supporters was like, I got this, and I don't even know what happened. The person just completely disappeared off social media, like they deactivated their entire page. Like,
wow.
I didn't even have to say nothing. Like, the dude just was like, kept going at him like, oh, you know, because it was a guy that had a problem with me. So
so you know they went in on him,
had a problem with female, and he tagged, and they like, oh man, look how you look. You looking crazy going after a female and just like, so I'm gonna come after you, and you know, it just was like, and all I know was like, maybe it went on for probably like about 4 days or 5 days, but all because this person wanted me to be a part of their crew, and I said no, and then they was like, they said FUCK me, like tag me, like boom, on social media. And I was like, what I do? No, like, wow, like I got, you know, and that was the only time I ever faced any type of craziness on social media.
Man. But you know, it's funny because you say that because it be the subliminals.
Yeah.
I've seen that too. Like, you know, it may not necessarily be directly at you, but I feel like that's like wearing your insecurity on your sleeve. You know, like I don't really look at that as something worth doing, because it's like, if you really are as good as you say you are, you wouldn't have to go on the side. You could just come at me directly. But if you don't come at me directly, then I'm not going to really worry about it, because you had to go through such great lengths to go and do something subliminally. So it's like, and that doesn't make you any money. It doesn't grow your brand. It doesn't do anything. And you got to ask yourself, okay, what does it do to my brand if I was to respond?
Yeah,
you know, what would it do? You know, sometimes you got to take pause and say, okay, what does this do to my brand? What would this do to what I have to do? And I'm, you know, sometimes you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just let that go.
Yeah, you do. You gotta just let it go sometime. And then at the same time, you think about it like, if you know, I'm obviously a threat to you, because if you felt that I wasn't, then I wouldn't be on the top of your mind first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Like, I'm sleeping well at night. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care. Like, you know, I went through school, girls hating and boys hating. Oh, stop it. I don't care, girl. That's crazy. But yes, it's definitely there. Especially in music, and it's not really that many female hip hop artists here, but it's some. And I can see a difference in their attitudes when we enter into the same building and stuff. But I already know what it's from. Like, it started off with the speaking and hey, and now it's just everybody just looking at me crazy when I walk. But it's okay, you know. I'll be like, wow, I just threw you totally off your square when I walked in the building. Okay, that's cool.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's weird. This is real weird.
We have, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
And I just want to read of your bio to some of the people who may have not heard of you, and I just want to know, because I'm pretty sure that by the time we're done with this, people who watch this, they're gonna want to get to know you even more.
Okay.
And as Pete I mentioned, is that she started this getting introduced to things at 13 years old as far as rap was concerned. And when she attended Cody High School on Detroit's west side, like we mentioned before, she used to do the rap battles in lunch hours. So she's a hold it down with as the only girl a lot of times with the boys in terms of battling. Still does the battling pretty well. She gets in there with them.
Yeah, I feel good every now and then.
You know, and so you're known to catch P Dot on a Facebook Live, on Instagram, or you know, at an event and doing something locally. She's winning many awards. She's been a part of a lot of collaborations on Detroit Underground albums. She's also been a person to practice her craft, and that's something I want to, you know, that we just talked about, practicing. A lot of times people don't realize that not only life continues to have you to practice, but when you take time to practice what you do, practice how you do things. I mean, I know as a speaker and trainer, I would take my kids' toys and I'll put them in the front, and then I'll take my stuff, and then I'm sitting up there pacing back and forth, and I'm rehearsing and talking, and then I speak, and then people say, "Oh my goodness, Lorinda, you spoke so well," or you know, I really like that class, or I really like that coaching, but they don't even realize that 20 minutes, that 20 minutes of them receiving some speaking and coaching, I spent hours practicing.
Yeah.
That's 20 minutes.
Or when you think that you haven't did your best, they always come and tell you. You be like, really? They be like, oh, you be like, oh, thank you, Will. Okay.
Okay, I'll take that.
Our biggest critics, you know, and everything we do, we're gonna critique ourselves like, I shouldn't have blinked that many times, or I should have moved around a little more. I shouldn't have moved around that much. So it's always gonna be something.
It's always gonna be something, and that's something to know, because a lot of people out there who love music and love real music and love real artistry, this is the type of artist that you're going to want to be connected to, because I mean, she brings it real from the heart. Now she brings it real. Like now, whether, you know, if it's your style or not your style is debatable, but you can respect the realness of everything that she has, that she brings into her music, her artistry, her style, the modeling, everything. Also, she had, I want to put on here, her first solo project in August of 2015. Who is it? And she had already sold, you know, many physical copies and counting. And then also, don't you have a new album getting ready to come out?
Yep. Like
a little bit about your new album that's getting ready to come out, because I know some people may be interested in knowing about that, because I know they're gonna want to get a copy, because I always get a copy. Every time I sit there, I'm emailing, texting, I want my copy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you probably got every copy so far. But my new album, I just dropped the single "Confessions" off of the album. Confessions come from there. Basically, I'm very, very real on. You know, I'm just gonna explain to your audience that I talk about my reality. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to talk about the grit and the grime. You know, I'm from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It's not all bad and it's not all good. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everybody can't, you know, you can't just talk about everything, you know, and my music is not all gritty either. You know what I'm saying? In this new project that I'm dropping, it's called Snapdragon, because a lot of people say, Pete, you be snapping. Pete, you be spitting fire. You know what I'm saying? They be like, dang, you a dragon on the mic. You know what I'm saying? So, it's called Snapdragon, and if you see the art of it is a microphone, and the dragon is like wrapped all the way around it, like hogging it, and it say P-Dot, you know, Snapdragon. So basically on there, I'm just showing all angles of myself. Like my first one, the Who Is It? I had reintroduced myself, kind of just was like, okay, this is where I come from. Remember me? That was kind of that one. And then Body and Bars, no, Pushing My Pen was after that. And Pushing My Pen basically was more heartfelt, like, you know what I'm saying? My mom had passed away around that time, so it was a lot of pain in that one. It was a lot, you know, I was kind of like, you know, it was kind of therapeutic. That album was therapeutic for me, and helping me kind of get over I'm not even over the pain. I'm not gonna say over it, but make it more bearable. You know what I'm saying? And then Body and Bars is basically, you know, and then on there you will see the album. I got a ski mask on, the smoke coming out my mouth, and I did a lot of things without showing my face at the time. I did a lot of photo shoots with masks on, with some type of pretty little mask, or some I barely showed myself, you know what I'm saying? And then with Snapdragon, it's like I'm showing y'all all of me, like the woman side, the bipolarism of Pete artist. Right. She can be real feminine, and she can get you piss her off, or you make her pissed off. She can be this way, or she can go and get it how she lives. So it's like 3 different, you know, it's basically the overall Detroit chick on Snapdragon, Body and Bars, you know, and Snapdragon with this one, you don't hear me doing singing. I sing too. A lot of people didn't know that.
I did not know you can sing.
And I'm with on a lot of alumni that came out of Cody, Kenya Lay, you know, remember in Snag, and 7 Mile, Deion Lucas from 7 Mile, him, and I got a few alumni that I grew up with that's on there, and a lot of people come from our school is very, very talented and has dropped projects or dropping projects and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm doing singing, I'm doing rapping, so that's like more so of a versatile project. So a lot of people I only dropped one single off of the Confessions, and it's doing really, really good. So I'm feeling real good about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah,
that's every time she drops say that she doing really good, it always do good, y'all.
Yeah, girl. You know, and it's kind of hard because you never know how people gonna perceive you. But like I said, you can't worry about that. Like, I'm just happy that people can't put me in a box with everybody else and say, oh, you know, if they relate me to anybody as old school artists like the Lady of Rage, MC Light, Queen Latifah, Rod Digger, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather be compared to them than compared to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, I like the legendary comparison. Like, that's really a humbling. So yeah.
That's a compliment, you know, whenever you talk about like MC Light, Lady of Rage, all of them, I mean, those have been legends. So, I mean, you know, much respect to them. Those are queens.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. You know. And if you notice, all of them are covered up, and they all, you know, they can't, like, you can't step to them on the microphone. They very vicious, they smart, and they ladylike, but they also show you like that aggressive side. It's like that thin line between, you know, thug and lady. Like, it's just that one thin line. You know, we got that little thin line right there. So
one thing I want to point out a little bit that you said, because I want to make sure that the audience get this as well, is that you did not fit into a box. And a lot of times, like whenever someone is building a brand, building a business, it's very easy for people to try to put someone into a box.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, you know, we talk about those living legends, the ones that we look up to. I look up to them, you look up to them. They've left, they trailed the blaze, you know, blaze for us, so we can go do what we need to do. Mm-hmm. But most importantly is that they didn't stay in a box. I'm pretty sure they got some of the same critiques that you received, that I received on what we should do with our brand. And they were like, nope, I'm going to do it my way. And
that's right.
Do it. And so people who are listening and following, I really want you to take that away today, is that, you know, if you have a brand, if you have a dream, if you have something that you have that you believe in, don't try to stay in the box. If you have a vision, move within that vision and move within it and be yourself. That's the best way that you can be, and not stay into a box. And many times our talents and gifts won't allow for us to be in a box anyway, because like, you know, like for example, if I go up and say, if I go somewhere and speak, I could talk about communication training. And even if I'm talking about communication training, people may tune into me depending on where they are in their life. Mm-hmm. And so I might have someone come up to me and talk to me about other programs, projects, different things they may want me to do. And I might say, you know what, I'll take on that project, because I don't necessarily have to stay within that same box. Right. And stay within that list. And so I like what you do is that you don't just stay in the box and say, okay, I'm just going to do one thing. You do modeling, you do producing and everything else. And then just for some of the audience to know, she also is the winner of the best female artist, okay, for Underground Hip Hop Awards in 2019. So congratulations on that. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I remember when I saw that on social media, I was like, yes, I was feeling
right.
So
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, it's like, because you went up for it, and it's like 2019. Was that the first time you won that one?
Yes, that's one of the hardest awards to win, period, in Detroit. Like, that's one of the hardest, like, because they're not just based off Detroit. It's like Michigan, you know what I'm saying? And you get put up against the mainstream artists as well. Like, it was me. I was nominated about 3 times before I won. I was put up against like Cash Doll, Miss Corona, Detroit Shay. I was making it the top 5. Like, the first time I made the ballot, didn't make the top 5. The second and third time I made the top 5, and then this time I won. But that's definitely one of the hardest, because it's one of the hardest to get. Like, I'm not gonna say everything else was easy, but this definitely is one of the awards like that catapult your career. And if you win it, you know what I'm saying, people, you get a lot of opportunities and stuff. And I can definitely say the nominations alone kind of kickstarted my climb in my career, but the win is what made a lot of people come to me and give me a lot of more better mainstream opportunities, opening up for Mobb Deep, opening up, for Snap Dogg, and I'm saying, artists that are signed and well off and stuff. And I was able to meet like the Brad and Scrappy, and able to go on audition for Rock Nation, and stuff like that. I learned a lot of things. It was a lot of labels, and I had to turn a lot of stuff down. People say I'm crazy for walking away from a lot of opportunities, but one thing that I do love about myself is that I like my independence. The independent grind is I get to do what I want to do. And when you get signed, they can tell you what color hair you need. I want you to have blonde hair. I want you to lose 50 pounds. Like, I want you to get braces. Once you sign that paper, you don't belong to you no more. You belong to them.
Wow.
And, it's like they can dictate everything about you. They can, you could be booming out here as an independent artist. You can sign that contract, and you can get put on the shelf and have to be quiet. It's like, it's a lot of things. Like, people think that, I want to be signed. Like, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not always good. Sometimes it's even better to just sign yourself. Like, we in the era right now. Like, when I first started doing the music, everybody was shooting for that deal. And yeah, a deal was good back then because, they developed you as an artist. You know what I'm saying? They got you, it was easier to get one. Now it's harder because they want you to already be established as an artist, or already want you to have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and the numbers speak now, where they're not going to come get you and spend money to develop you as an artist. When they bring you in, you need to already be that. You need to already be marketable. And they don't want it ain't just about being an artist no more. They want you to be a marketable person. Like, you got to be marketable. You got to be able to do more than one thing. So, and I remember I was asked when I had went to New York and I did audition. The first thing, I had to audition in front of Spanish Ran. He was a Rock Nation A&R, and he asked, what is it about you that make you different from everybody else?
Wow.
And that's it. Like, and he's waiting on the answer, and it's like, what is it about me that made me different from everybody else? So from that day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something that makes me different from everybody else. And so from there, that's when I started doing everything that came my way. I felt like, okay, if it wasn't meant for me to do it, it wouldn't been presenting itself. So I'm just gonna do it. And
right.
Yeah, you just got to take everything that come your way. Don't ever get boxed in. That's the worst. Get boxed in. So
But I think that part right there was very good that you just said, because that's the business side to it.
yeah.
And you stay independent despite of that. And then kind of like for some people who may not be familiar, is that another part of the music industry too was also the music industry was the only place for distribution. So like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times when they came in and they developed the artists, they developed them because they wanted to get them marketable. Then they were the ones that did the distribution. So now what they're doing is they kind of like offloading that onto the artist, saying, okay, look, you can do YouTube, you can do whatever, you get yourself together and then you come talk to us. So that way we don't have to spend as much money on something that may not work, you
Yep.
know. And so, but then on the other side of that is that because you do have so many outlets now, an artist can be independent. So
Yep.
like, so some of the audience can know, like, you have to have, like, what's the business side? You have to have like LLCs, trademarks, or copyrights. You got to set it up like a business. I mean, is that the same thing that goes on with being an entertainer? Like, the business side of being an entertainer. I mean, how much of it is, out of 100%, how much of it is business versus how much of it is really the music?
90% is business.
90% is business. Okay,
90%.
right now, 90% in the music industry is business. I said
Yeah.
this even for church people. I said 80 to 90% of churches is business.
Yeah.
Everything is about business. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead, finish. And so what else is probably, related to the music industry and business?
You definitely have to copyright. It's real thieves out here. Like, meaning that a lot of people take from the underground artists. Like, I'm considered underground. Well, I consider myself underground. Because I'm not mainstream. Mainstream is more like Jay-Z, Nas, you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
So underground is like more so like let me think. Even though they're mainstream, people look at like Redman as an underground artist, or Eric Sermon, trill hip hop artists and stuff like that. Or they look at, now that, before they got signed, it was Doughboys Cash Out, Rock Bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, they people that you knew that can make it, if they wanted to go mainstream, they could take that deal and go ahead and go. Shouts out to Payroll. He just got signed to Def Jam. But,
right.
It's that little margin in between mainstream and just battle rapping. It's underground. Like, you there, you halfway there, you there. You there, but you just like, if I want to, I can go main. But a lot of us like the underground. But you definitely have to, like, copyright a lot of your works. It's a lot of different things. You got to make sure that when these podcasts and podcasts is pretty much taking over the mainstream radio, and they tend to support artists, a lot more, and they'll spin your music, and you got to make sure that your music is registered. You got the Nielsen BDS, you got the Sound Scan, you got you can distribute your own music. You don't have to be signed to no 360 deal or nothing like that. If you got a budget, cool, but a lot of the times, we just work hard and get our opportunities through hard work, and just people saying, oh, I like what you're doing, how can I help you? Or, let me come do this for you. Or, do this, I got a role. Can you come be in this movie? You know what I'm saying? You sit back like, okay, is this beneficial to my brand, and how it's going to make my brand look? You got to weigh a lot of things, but yeah, it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork, but a lot of paperwork. The other 10% is the performing on the stage, showing up, glitz, glam. You know what I'm saying? The fun part. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the 10%, 20% right there. But I'm gonna say 80 to 90% is definitely business. You got to know what to do out here, because it's a lot of people that people consider legends, and their music is not properly published. They're not getting any royalties. They're getting stiffed. They're getting robbed out here. You know what I'm saying? Just because we have a passion for our music and to get out there and perform, you can easily get robbed. Just because you just like, oh, I want to do that show. I want to open up for so-and-so. Yeah, you might get paid on appearance, because you can get paid for being appearance. Promoters can pay you just to come out and do walkthroughs or perform. You get to pick and choose. It depends on your demand, how much you get paid, whatnot, and that's another thing, because you do get a W-2 for royalties and you file taxes. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Wow. Yes.
And, yeah. And so it's really, you a walking business. It's like, people got that building that sit on the corner. We not that building that sit on the corner. We the walking building. Like you walk, you the building. So yeah, you got to keep a business mindset at all times. And I keep my personal life very, very, very separate from, I don't even have my personal life on social media at all. Like a lot of people only see my family when it's their birthday or something like that. I might say, everybody wish my brother happy birthday. Everybody wish my mama happy birthday or whatever. But when it comes to stuff, like I keep that I'm very private and very protective over my personal life. Like,
well, but yeah, in your industry, you have to be too. So
it's some people that don't do that though. They merge everything, and you'll see them going off. It's just crazy. Like, and when I catch some of my people do that, I PR them real quick. Like, hey, take that down. You can't do that, and you involved in the youth. You can't do that when you mentoring, and you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Take that down, and so. You just got to always keep that mindset that it's business at all times. And you got to always know, just like I was told that I'm always being watched. They might not comment, they might not like, but they always watch
it. Girl, you got to tell it. I tell people all the time, I say, whenever you do anything, if you put I don't care if it's a video, publish it with the anticipation that somebody's going to watch your stuff, but they might not like it. They may not comment. They may not say anything, but they're watching what you're doing. They're always watching.
Even if they don't, even the ones that don't like you watch it more than the people that do. They want to see, they want to critique it. Like, look at the pants, look at that one girl right there. Watch her hair like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do that. You just got to be like, I don't care, as long as they watch it, don't hear anything past it.
Watch it, exactly. That's the thing. Like, I tell people all the time, is it doesn't matter if it's good or it's bad, as long as they watch it.
Right.
As long as that traffic coming in, we don't even care. It's like, hey, come in and just see what's going on. So,
yeah.
And just for some of the viewers, like, that is something that I've share too. Because I know, like, with my company, we're registered with trademarks with the USPTO. So my name, my business is trademarked.
Yeah.
Also do the copyright stuff. Somebody said, well, why would you do that? And you just, when I first started the company, I said, because I'm a content generator. And I know that if I'm generating content and I'm constantly putting out content, like you said, you're going to have people that's going to be thieves. You can't stop them. But if somebody really try to do something, you could be like, hey, boom, that's mine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Pay me or cease and desist to do something,
Yeah.
A lot of times people, they do get out in the business, or even if they in my business or whatever, they don't really take care of the paperwork. But another thing is that when you have your own stuff, it does help you with the negotiation. See, to me, I feel as though when a person doesn't have their paperwork, they're more desperate to do anything. When they haven't really taken the time to copyright their stuff, whatever, they're not clear on their brand, they'll just take anything that comes to them. But when someone is taking time to really understand their brand, what they want to do, how they want to do it, then they don't want to just take anything. They think about those things a little bit more. And I think
or they just don't know. Or they just don't know. Because sometimes people won't tell you. Like, you'll be out here, and they won't tell you. And they just be like, oh, your song called that? You ain't no way. Like, what you gonna do? Like, it's real cutthroat.
Real cutthroat out here. And so before we close out, I just wanted to give you some time, if you want to say something to the listeners, like, what is it that you have going on, or what message you want to leave them with, whether it's women empowerment or something to encourage people, like, what would you want them to know about you or about PDOT, or things that you have going on. I'm just leave you with some minutes, and you could just let us know a little bit about you. Because I know the people out here, they're going to watch this and they're going to follow up with you. I'm going to leave some information for them to contact you, but I just want you to leave something with them as well.
Well, I'm just going to say that, just don't, whatever it is that's that you're passionate about. Learn it. Don't quit. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep evolving. Keep growing. Keep God first in all things. I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be hard. Nothing worth having is easy. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out here and network. Even if you don't feel good those days, sometimes all you got to do is just show up. And I'm just gonna let you know that just show up, show out. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether you speaking, whether you in the music, you modeling. Don't make nobody feel like you're too big, too old, too short, too dark, too light. To do what it is that you love to do. I don't know. I'm just gonna say that I just want to thank everybody for being supportive, and for all the people, my future supporters, I want to thank you in advance. Hey, I'm just P-Dot. I'm just a girl from Detroit, just trying to get her story out, and represent the ordinary woman out here. Women, stay encouraged, stay strong, keep working hard, stay prayed up. You know what I'm saying? You can check me out if you're in the Detroit area. I'll be performing intermission at the Senate Theater for the stage play called Flowers, directed and written by Papa Duck. It's on Sunday, May the 12th. You could come to. It's going to be at the Senate, like I said, in Detroit, Michigan. Support my designer, Kenyatta Caldwell of Creole by Keka. I'm the brand ambassador of that line. She does everything from furs to swimsuits, purses, menswear, blazers, children, gowns, weddings, whatever. She makes shoes, you know what I'm saying, as well. Everything. She's black owned. Does everything out of her with her own bare hands. She's great. Support her, follow her, www.creolebykeka.com. Check me out on my radio show, School of Hip Hop on 7 Mile Radio. Check me out there. Follow the page 7 Mile Radio. Be looking out for the movies on the hunting season, Revenge, Condemned, web series Finesse. I'll be in those, and so I'm reading up and doing our thing on there. Illusions on the Runway will be July the 14th at St. John Bakewell Conference Hall. If y'all in Detroit, it's on Northwestern Highway. Come check me out there. Nominated for another award for the DET Awards for artist, and I'll be modeling and performing there as well. I'll be walking for my designer, and I'll be performing there as well. So that's great. Y'all in Detroit area, come check me. Thank you, honey. If y'all in Detroit area, come check me out there. Follow me on Spotify. You can stream my music. Just type in P-Dot. P-DOT. Two Sides is on there, Beef, and my new release, Confessions, is on there. Follow my music page, P-Dot, on Facebook, P-Dot Music on Instagram, and that's about it. Y'all just, I appreciate y'all support. Thank you, Lorinda, for having me on here.
Thank you so much.
I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best as well. You know what I'm saying? You're doing big things. Also, your book, y'all make sure y'all support her book. Go on and get that. Cop that.
Yes, and I love being able to support other, business owners and people like yourself. And I just believe that even with the audience, I really believe they got a lot of value today from just you being here and sharing. And then for them just to get another side of who you are and another side of what you do and what that is about. And I think that they'll connect even more to your music. So I'm looking forward to that. So everybody, feel free to put this on replay, go back and listen to what she said so you can make sure that you connect with her. And then also for any type of bookings, where they contact dgirl.@gmail.com.
dgirlp.@gmail.com. Or you could just call the business line directly, 313-978-5206. Either way, I get it. Whatever it is, I model, I act. I'm also a great host. I do event hosting, and whatever you need. Even if you want me to model your brand, I'll do that as well.
See, and there you go. And so I want to again thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you coming on. And for those who are tuned in, I want to encourage you to go ahead and make sure that you subscribe, so that way you are the first to know whenever we have new updates, interviews, or anything that comes in here. And then also make sure you subscribe, because I send out newsletters, blogs, I send out tips, tools, resources that are free, that are absolutely free to you. New classes and resources. Because some of y'all might have heard some things today. You're like, oh, I might need some help. So if you come on in, and then we could definitely help you. So you can connect with us on social media. And again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. There were a lot of other choices out there for you to tune into, and you came here. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, here's to your freedom, your balance, and your faith for success. Thank you so much. And you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining Lorinda Buckingham. Join the tribe and the movement. Connect and follow Lorinda on social media. And be sure to subscribe today so you don't miss one thing that could change your lifestyle or professional success. For more amazing series and products, to book Lorinda for your next event, or to work with Lorinda, visit www.lorindabuckingham.com. So, now it's time to go out there and grab your dream and live the life you desire. Here's to your freedom, balance, and faith for success. Take care.